Hello, everybody. I hope we
Are we
have some
working?
people here.
Is
Uh,
it working now?
Maybe I don't know. I got the thing saying that it failed to go live,
Okay.
and so I hit it again. It went live, and now it's. I don't even know what's going on anymore, to be honest.
Oh, looks like I'm frozen too.
Not on my end. You're moving around, so okay. We have a comment, so we are live somewhere. Hi, my favorite robot all the way from Canada, Joanne. That's got to be Joanne. So, all comments coming from Facebook will be seen as Facebook user, folks. I don't know why that is. Not gonna not gonna have to deal with it for much longer. Tonight is the last night with this program. I'll be trying something new. But until then, welcome back to the fifth season. This is our first episode of season 5 of the 13th Dimension. And tonight we have everybody's favorite robot from Myth or Mystery, Mr. Ryan.
Happy to be here. Thanks for
How,
having me, Jeremy.
how are you doing tonight?
Really good. Really good. Just got in from hunting with my kid today, so that was a lot of fun.
Was it cold?
Yeah, we got cold at the end. It ended up being about 34 degrees by the time we were done walking in.
Oh, that's colder than it got here.
Yeah.
I think our lowest we got down to about 40 tonight.
Okay. Yeah,
So
tomorrow should be better. Tomorrow we're staying 50, so that'll be nice.
I think it's supposed to rain up here.
You can have that. I don't want that.
Well, to be perfectly honest, we need the rain. It's been, um, well, actually, up until election day, we didn't get any rain for maybe a month.
Oh, well.
Yeah, and I was hoping that it would rain again so that I could mow my yard because usually right after Halloween, I mow the yard one last time before I put the mower away for the year.
Sure.
And then it rained on election day, and several days since then it was raining this morning a little bit. Um, so anyway, we have
Gonna have to wait till
Jill now.
Thanksgiving now.
I hope not. I hope not. I'm hoping to be done. So Ryan, on Myth or Mystery, we don't get to hear a whole lot
Yeah.
about you except for at the very beginning of the show and then whatever you throw in when you guys do your little banner. So we don't
Sure.
really have much of a chance to get to know you. So introduce yourself to everybody. Let everybody know who the hell are you.
Well, I am, I'm the video analyst from Myth or Mystery, another weekly show. And on that one, I analyze the videos and that people submit to us. And, I give it my honest opinion. I've been a paranormal investigator for over 15 years now. So people love me, hate me, whatever, but I always give my honest opinion on whatever I'm presented with. And that goes pretty well with the show that Mary and McGregor have created. That, we have, everybody has their own little thing that they do. And, whether anybody likes it or not, I'm not going to sugarcoat things per se. I'm going to say it like it is. And it's just my opinion. I'm by no means an expert, but it's my opinion and what I think of whatever's being shown. Sometimes it ends up being, I don't want to say correct, but I can sway the audience to see my side of thinking. Sometimes I don't get anybody to see my way of thinking. But it's kind of fun how voting and see how it's changed. And a lot of times too, I can also find things that the submitters didn't see in the videos, so I can help point these out there too, which is a lot of fun as an investigator and somebody who's gone through hours and hours and hours of analyzing evidence. It's fun to be able to show some of that stuff off to investigators.
Well, I can definitely say from experience that you have opened my eyes to certain ways of doing things in a way that you're on my programs. I'm able to adjust the speed, but I'm not able to blow them up. So I
Sure.
don't have the ability to zoom in on certain things. And when you show that on some of the videos that you do, it's like, holy cow. And what I thought I saw on certain videos, that was not the case. So there's been many times yeah, kind of, sort of. I'm going to vote unknown. I want to wait until Ryan gets to his segment so that when he does slow things down and blow them up, I can really see. And now I can make a little bit more of an educated guess. And
Sure. Yep.
more times than not, 99 out of 100, really, I'm voting myth on everything.
Yeah. It takes a lot for me to be convinced that it's a mystery, which is part of the show. You know, there's nobody's ever right, nobody's ever wrong, but at the same time, it takes a lot. I'm very much along the same lines of thinking as you, Jeremy, very scientific, and we have to see pretty clear evidence that this is actually paranormal before we'll say it's paranormal.
Right. And I love it every time when Greg announces you for your segment. It's like, okay, here's the guy that's going to crap on this. And
Yep. I don't try to be mean. I'm not a mean person by any means, but sometimes it comes out that way, and I apologize to anybody that I may have hurt their feelings. It's not intended that way. It's just my personal thoughts on what's being presented to me, and that's my job.
Well, the thing is, I think that what you do is what we need more of in the paranormal field. Because everybody is so quick to say, oh, yeah, that's paranormal, even when it's very clearly AI generated.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, AI or faked. You know, you get the fishing lines out there in the videos that you can see. Yeah, a lot of people are very too quick to do it just for the likes and social media fame instead of actually doing it for the right reasons. And
right.
I guess I got into the paranormal world because I wanted to know more about it, and I wanted to prove that it's real, and you don't do that by faking things. So that's why I like to be honest about everything with the paranormal, and as much as I can show that this is legit and some things are not legit.
I can actually see you being able to have your own YouTube channel and doing the same thing what you do on Myth or Mystery, where you take all of these videos, especially videos of some of the bigger YouTube channels that's got massive following, and you take the videos in. Okay, this is why this is not paranormal.
Sure, that's funny. My wife was actually talking about that just the other night. Why don't I do some of this on my own too? And you know, I've never really given it much thought. I don't have a whole lot of time. You know, 4 kids, wife, family, plus everything else that goes along with full-time job. But yeah, it would be fun to do too.
I think it'd be pretty cool to see, and I think if you were to do something like that, I think you get a pretty decent following. I'd like to think you would.
We'll have to see. There's always open for something in the future.
Yeah. So you say that you have been an investigator for 15 years. 2 questions on this, and you can answer this in any order you want.
Sure.
Do you have your own team, or are you by yourself? And how did you get into the paranormal? What interests you first?
So stuff when I was younger kid, I was having paranormal experiences. Kind of didn't know what to do with them. Nobody was around to help me. Didn't want to be the crazy kid that, thought he was seeing stuff, because back then it was very taboo. Nobody talked about it. And as I was growing up, I just kind of delved a little bit more into it, until I met one of my buddies, John, and he had also kind of grown up with them, and we started talking back and forth, and we decided, why don't we be that team or that group for people that have never had anybody to talk to? So we decided to make a group, Things That Go Bump Minnesota, and we wanted to be that support structure for people that were going through things that we never had growing up, and we wanted to be able to help people. We did a bunch of investigations and help people educating, and it slowly turned into more education, doing a lot of classes and showing them what we thought was right ways and wrong ways, how to protect yourself, how to use equipment, really getting into the paranormal investigating 101. And we really enjoyed that. Things just kind of, life got in the way, and we kind of slowly started going away from that. And then I started getting into myth or mystery, and that's kind of what I've been doing now. It's been a long time since I've been in an actual investigation. It's just as fun for me to actually go through these videos every week that I do and kind of live it through them.
That's pretty cool. I think I've only done 3 this year myself.
There's just no time anymore.
No, there isn't, and a lot of these places are getting too expensive too.
Yeah. Yep. It's just not worth it. And especially some of these, you go to them and they charge you, $400 or $500 to go into a place that's everybody's trashed and nobody wants to come out and play. I'd rather go into somewhere that nobody has seen, that is fresh, and we can actually interact and have a clean, good conversation with spirit.
Yeah, like for example, a place like Waverly Hills, there's a new team coming in every single day, and I can only imagine that the spirits there are tired of people coming in.
Yeah. At that one, or Villisca, where people are bringing in whatever they want, summoning and conjuring things that don't belong there, so you never know really what you're walking into. That's why I'd rather kind of find one of those little gems that nobody's ever been to and see what we can pull out of it.
How did you meet Greg and Marianne to get on the show? How did that come about?
Greg and I go back a long time. I don't even know how many years, probably right around the 14, 15 years. We met at a paranormal conference. Him and I were both kind of on a roundtable discussion where we would share our opinions on some evidence that was being presented, and we just got to talking and clicked pretty good, and him and my buddy John clicked pretty good, so we just started working together on doing things, and we'd worked together ever since. And then Greg and Miriam started this show, and they put out a call out there, hey, we need some help with some video analysis, and I've been doing it for a long time, so I said, hey, if you guys need help, I can help, not really knowing what it was or what it turned into, and we clicked, and kind of the rest is history. We've been doing it now for, it'll be a year in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you guys have been it has been over a year now, because I remember being your guys' guinea pig before you.
Yeah, you were one of the guinea pigs. Yep.
I still remember that the one video that it looked like it's got 2 spirit dogs walking in the backyard.
Oh,
yeah. In fact, you guys got that in your intro video.
Yep.
That particular video. That was real interesting, though.
Yeah, we've had some really, really neat ones come through. It's been a lot of some really good paranormal evidence come through, some really bad evidence come through. So it's been a lot of fun.
I know. I gotta say, I really like the one that you guys did yesterday, where it sounded like a little girl calling out to her daddy.
Yep.
And I remember that one coming in from the viral videos from Ghost Inspector Greg.
Mm-hmm.
And I selected mystery on that one because I wanted to get in deeper on that one, being a father myself. So that video kind of tugged at me.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah. And then I also did what you were suggesting about not looking at the words on the screen and just
Yep.
listening to it. So I did that. I actually took my speaker and put it right up to my ear.
Yep.
And sure enough, it was hard to actually hear those words. And I
It
thought,
is. It changes it when you can't hear it. And that's yesterday I said there's something there. I know that there is. I just
yeah,
don't think it's the words that they think it is or that they're saying on the screen.
yeah. And I remember thinking that when I did that, damn it, Ryan.
Yeah, see, I just kind of crap all over it for everybody.
But we need that.
Yeah, we do.
We need that because everybody is in such a rush to say that it is paranormal. They want to believe, and even Greg has said that on occasion. I want to believe that this is the real deal, but I don't think it is.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
just to say that's pretty big.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot of times where, I want so badly for this to be real, but I can't. What I'm looking at here, I'm either not getting the full picture or what I'm looking at is screaming fake or not real to me. So I have to the way that I vote based on what I'm given. There are a lot of them that we get that, I wish we had an extra 5 minutes of it. I wish we had an extra 30 seconds before and after. I wish we had an extra picture or two, to tell more of a story. But unfortunately, we can only deal with what we have. It's kind of too when we have those situations come up, we try to instruct people when they're out there doing investigations to, take multiple pictures, take before and afters, record everything that you can, and don't chop it up. Don't play with it too much. Save the raw audio, save the raw videos, and things like that. So we do try to do some educating as we do it.
Well, when talking about don't cut up the videos. Sometimes I don't have that option with the DVR system I have. Is that it is based on movement. It'll record the entire time, but all the way through, it cuts it automatically based on movement or lack of movement.
Yep.
So,
and there's some of those programs, yeah, you can't avoid it. And honestly, if you're recording with 8 DVR cameras for a 12-hour investigation, that's too much video to go through and analyze anyways. Nobody's got that much time.
Especially if you got 8 cameras running at once.
Yes. Yep.
I still have stuff from 6 years ago that I never got through.
I was just going to say that I know I have stuff that it's probably going on 10, 12 years that I haven't looked at. It's still sitting on a flash drive somewhere.
Wow. So what got you into doing analysis on videos the way that you do? How did that happen?
Well, the way that I do it on the show basically came out of necessity for the show. I wanted to do kind of like how in the NFL they do the Telecaster, the Telewriter, where they can circle the things on the screen as we're going through and doing the video. So I had to go through and find a bunch of programs, how that works, and play around with some things without spending a ton of money because this is just a hobby of mine. I don't want to go in debt because of this. So I found some stuff that works, and I like being able to circle it live time when I'm talking about it. I like to be able to highlight it that way instead of going through and editing a video, playing the video, and just talking over it. I like to actually be able to modify it and kind of analyze it live with the. It makes it a lot more fun for me, I think, and I think the audience likes it better that way too. You can tell me if I'm wrong.
I like it. A lot of times, I reserve my judgment on a lot of these videos until you get to it, because I know
Hmm.
you're going to really bring it, you really bring it to us, and show us things that we might be missing.
Sure. And when I go through and do, like, especially on a video, most of these are night vision, they're dark. So I'll run through a program and I'll first thing is I brighten it up so I can see, all right, is that somebody in the background? What is that? Is it a rat? Is it a mouse? You know, that kind of a thing that I'm looking for right away. And then I can play it and we can really get into it then, and I can take screenshots of it and really blow it out to look at, you know, like you were saying, what am I looking at here? Because on the screen it looks really tiny, but when I blow it up, oh, that's pretty clear that that's somebody's hand right there, or that's somebody's hair, you know, that kind of a thing. So yeah, I try to dig into it as much as I can to really show the audience and show everybody this is what I'm seeing and the reason why I'm voting the way that.
The one video that you really surprised me on it is actually one of the ones that I submitted to you guys, where the
Yeah.
big black ash was coming down from the ceiling, and
Yep.
you actually did a color inversion on that.
Yeah, that one was fun.
Yeah, you really took me off guard on that one, because I did not know there was a way that you could be able to do that with the video, changing the colors. I did not have that ability. Um,
Yeah. It's fun. It's actually it's a free program that I found out there, Flixier. You got to pay for it to get into some of the specialist stuff, but you can do quite a bit with it free. And yeah, once I figured out to do the invert colors and brighten and highlight and things like that, and play with some of the chromograph stuff, you can really bring out some of these features, like that one that you submitted, where you can clearly see this mass coming down, and it just kind of hovers there, and then it just goes back up. And I think that one too, it kind of like hovered up on the wall a little bit and then crawled up the wall too. And you couldn't really see that before I went in and changed with the colors and stuff, but then you could pretty see it pretty clearly.
yeah, it was almost like what some of these places would describe as the creeper that creeps
Yeah.
along the ceilings of the wall. Um,
Yeah.
that's probably one of the best evidence I've ever seen on an investigation that I've been on. I've seen some pretty cool stuff, but something like that just doesn't happen.
No. And to catch it on video that clearly too. Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, and props to Nick, because he's the one that took that video as it was happening,
Hmm.
and the fact that he was able to stay calm and keep his composure and not go nuts like most people would.
Yeah.
He did a
Yeah,
damn.
because I'm sure he's seeing it through the viewfinder. You know, he could probably see everything.
Yeah, he was looking at it, and he was thinking, "What the hell is this?" And steady and everything. He did a damn good job that night.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good capture.
Yeah. Um, have you had a video that you before actually analyzing, you're looking at it for the longest time, and in the back of your mind you're thinking there's no way that this can not be paranormal. You think it is completely real, and then when you do start doing the analysis, it's like, holy crap, this thing is not what I thought it was.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens quite a bit actually. There was one I don't remember. It was like in a horse barn where there was a shadow that came out from the wall and then it came back. And the more I was looking at the shadow, I was thinking, okay, this is like a horse that we're seeing off camera or something. But then I watched it more and more, and there's this mist that kind of comes down the hallway and it just kind of stops there and then it disappears. That one kind of got me thinking that, hey, maybe there is something here. Um, Another one that stands out is there was this was early on. It was a dog had passed, one of the family members' dog, and when you first look at the video, it happens so fast. It's like one of the Ring videos, so it's not super high quality video footage. It just looks like something goes flying past the camera. It looks like dust or something triggered it, but I slowed it way down, and when you look at it, almost frame by frame, you can see a dog plain as day, just kind of marching through the room right there. And that one kind of blew me away because I thought for sure this is just dust. It's something, the furnace turned on and we got all of a sudden a bright push of dust going through the house. And then I looked into it and crap, that's a dog.
But
So
usually
was
radio
fun.
can also be kind of choppy too. Like it's not fluid motion.
Yep.
The one with the horse barn, was that one of the videos that you guys had on the show?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, yeah, because I remember a video where it was in the horse barn. I didn't realize that was yours, and there was a shadow that I was looking at, and it kept making me thinking of the dog Astro from the Jetsons.
Oh, sure.
The shadow was just that perfect shape.
Yeah.
Jill is asking, what has been your favorite to analyze for the show?
So I don't know if anybody remembers. It was it a night of fakes or something like that? It was a lot of fun. It was this called pastor in a church, and he's talking with the phone in front of him. He's doing this thing, and all of a sudden the podium tips over behind him, and he freaks out and he says, "This has been going on." And when I look at it, you can actually see the string being pulled, and you can see the person hiding behind the pulpit in the back. When it pulls, you can see him kind of duck. And that one is just, it's my favorite. I know it's not paranormal. I've seen a lot of paranormal stuff, but being able to debunk a clear fake like that and be able to prove it with 100% beyond a shadow of doubt that this is fake, that one was the most fun for me. I was laughing the whole time I was doing that one, taking the screenshots and doing the video editing and stuff. That was a blast for me.
I think I remember that video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember that. It's funny how people try to dupe you, and they don't realize who they're trying to dupe.
Yeah, and that's, like you said, that's a good reason why we have the show out there too, because people do know that some of this stuff is fake. A lot of this stuff is fake, actually.
Yeah. No, I tend to be in the frame of mind of, if it's on TikTok, it's fake.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. YouTube, 9 times out of 10 is fake.
Yeah.
Especially considering who is putting out said video.
That's the thing. You got to look at who it is and what are they putting it out for. Are they putting it out for scientific evidence, or are they putting it out there for the likes and the clicks?
Right. Well, chances are they're doing it because they're monetized. Their channel is monetized. So they got to put something out there to get those views so that they can make money.
Yep.
That's how I look at it. So when you go to investigations, what kind of a setup do you normally do? I'm sure you have your own DVR system that you put out.
Yeah, so I was kind of known as the tech guy. I had one of those big rolling like work tight toolboxes. It's like 3 feet tall, 2 feet wide, and it rolls around. I used to call it the coffin and jokingly say that it holds all my things to talk to the dead, so that's why it was the coffin. The more stuff that it got to the point where the more tools that I would try to use, it felt like the less I was getting. So I would, at the end, I would actually go in with a K2 and a voice recorder. And I get just as much off of that as I could with everything else, and have more fun doing it that way than trying to worry about every single piece of equipment. Is this camera placed right? Do I have it hooked up? Is it recording? Is it Connect working? All this other stuff. And I could actually spend the time investigating rather than stressing about the equipment.
Right. Jill has another question here. Let's see. How does that person respond when you prove they are faking it?
I haven't actually done a fake to their face, and if they have been watching, they've never mentioned it. Um, there are some times, like at an event or something like that, where somebody will get all excited and come to me and say, "Hey, look at this! I just captured this," and I'll look at it, and maybe they had one, for example, this supposed ghost had gray hair and a blue shirt standing behind somebody, and I looked around the audience. Well, there's your ghost standing right there. It was some lady that just happened to be walking by at the time that they took the picture, and it was low light, so it looked all blurry. But it was not a ghost. They didn't like that too much. They didn't believe me, but there's just some things that's what it is, and I'm gonna call it out every time. So, like we say on the show, like it or not, I'm gonna tell the truth.
So how do location owners react react to what you do?
They like it. When we were out in Deadwood, South Dakota, and actually got to know one of the hotel managers out there really well, and to the point where they kind of hired us to be a PR campaign for them. They gave us free reign, and we made this paranormal video for them that they could show before other ghost tours to say, look how haunted the place is, come on our tour. Um, Most of the owners that we work with love it. They love the honesty and the integrity. And honestly, the way that we go about our investigations seems to produce better results than going in there threatening and yelling and screaming. We go in like you and I are talking right now, just a very nice conversation, very polite, please and thank yous. Gets a job done way better than your Ghost Adventure style.
Yeah, I have a thing or two to say about Ghost Adventures, but I like to keep this a nice and friendly show.
Yep.
Sometimes. Speaking of nice and friendly shows, the banter between the three of you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all natural. I mean, like you said last night's show, we have a script. It's kind of a rough script. It's just to kind of keep us moving, keep things rolling. But we go off script a lot, and we just like to have fun. We poke fun at each other all the time. The three of us click pretty good, and it's fun to be with, and I hope it's fun to watch too, because we have fun being on the show.
I find it so funny, and I even brought this up last night. You know how Greg is always saying, when Miriam wasn't on the show, we got the show done in an hour.
Yep.
And I remember that night. And,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
then last night, Greg just happens to not be on the show, and you guys are done in 70, 75 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, so I think we found, well, I guess Greg and Miriam kind of tend to talk a lot, I guess.
My hand is on Miriam.
Yeah, if I had to give a vote, that'd be my vote too.
Yeah. But the whole thing with how Greg reacts to everybody, that is just priceless, because it's like, okay, it's annoying him, and he's letting you know it's annoying him, but it is so damn fun to see it annoying.
And I've known Greg for a long time. I can tell you without a doubt that that's not for the show. That's Greg in real life too. He's like that all the time.
Oh, I know. I've known Greg for 5 years now myself.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years. Met him in person a few times. Oh yeah, I know how Greg is.
And he's a lot of fun to be around too.
He's even said it, that if you don't know me, you probably think that I'm rude and stuck up and, and all of that. So I get that. So because I do know him, I know not to take anything personal from him.
Yep. Yeah, you really can't. Nothing personal. And even Miriam too. Three of us can get together and we may trade jabs, but it's not personal. It's all in fun.
Yes. How do you guys go about deciding which videos to do for the week? Do the three of you take a vote on it, or is it just this is what?
No, actually, Harlow and Miriam. Harlow goes out and finds all those in. She kind of presents them to Miriam, and then I get to see them a couple days ahead of time, so I can start working on analyzing because it takes time to do what I need to. But 90 to 99% of the time, Greg is seeing it for the first time live on the show, so you're getting a true, genuine reaction from him as he was watching it. And a lot of times, Miriam is even doing that too, where she'll be the first time she's seeing it is there on the show. She may cut a couple edits for a promo, but she isn't watching a full thing through. So a lot of it is live on the show.
Okay, so you're the only one who really gets to analyze these things ahead of time, then.
Yep. So then I can take the time to, dig into them a lot to do a proper job analyzing them. But yeah, otherwise the others are kind of a first time live on the show with everybody else.
Okay. Yeah, I thought all three of you watched them before the shows.
No. And Ghost Inspector Greg's viral videos, we don't get to see those ahead of time. That's all live on the show. That's the first time we're seeing them all.
some of these videos that he finds, oh my! Some of them
they're entertaining. Yep.
Yes, they're entertaining, but the one that he did was that daddy one. That one, and I think that is the only one that he has presented that I actually voted mystery on. No, I take that back. There was a couple UFO videos that he did, and I wanted to see you guys tear those apart.
Yeah, I remember there was a couple of them that were so bad. I remember you and a couple other people saying in the comments, "I voted for it so that I could see you guys rip it apart."
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I think wasn't one of them in England where the people were popping up in the windows. There's like 4 windows, and the people kept on popping up in top one, bottom one, and I thought it was haunted.
I remember that video. I voted myth because I knew exactly what that one was. What that one was. It was just so ridiculous.
Yeah, that was bad.
One video I do remember, it was overlooking some sort of like a valley, and it was like I want to say a Bigfoot video.
Okay.
It was way off in the distance, but it didn't look exactly like a Bigfoot. It almost looked like a miniature version of the monster that's on Cloverfield.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I don't remember that one, but yeah. There's been some interesting.
Yeah, he does get. How'd you guys get involved with him?
It just kind of happened. We were looking for an interesting segment to add to the show. Kind of spread our wings a little bit, and he kind of fell in our laps, and it's been a pretty good partnership. I think we work well together with him too.
I think you guys too. I really like the graphics of the new segment with him, where you take him out of his room, just him inside that little box, and it looks like he's on a view screen like on Star Trek.
Yeah, yeah. No, Miriam did all that. Miriam and Harlow, they're awesome with all the transitions and the effects and everything. They're doing a great job with that.
They sure are, and all the stuff that Harlow has put together, her voiceovers. She is like the glue that holds the three of you guys together.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We would not be what we do without her.
Yeah, you got to have somebody that works that magic behind the screen, because it's not always about the people on the screen. There's somebody behind the screens that you don't always see, and I like the fact that you guys bring her on screen every show so that we can.
Yeah, she deserves her credit too.
Yes. I remember that one, Jill. She was talking about the one time that I had Greg on the show, and we went on for over 6 hours. That was a long night.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a question. I had a question for you, and it just completely slipped my mind. Holy cow! So what are you looking to get out of all of this that you do? Not just the show, but everything.
Honestly, right now it's just to have fun and maybe educate some people. Yeah, it'd be great if we could get some monetary gain out of it, but for the most part, it's just having fun. Honestly, ripping apart some really bad videos is a lot of fun for me. And then, getting to know you guys, the audience, hearing you guys' participation, the audience participation aspect of the show is something that I've never really seen on any kind of show, period, let alone a paranormal show where people can actually give their input and we take it to heart and kind of play with it and play with you guys too. It's a lot of fun getting everybody involved like that too.
It is fun, and it shocks me sometimes seeing the big swings from one to the other because
Yeah.
remember there was one video not too long ago where you took everybody from mystery, everybody to myth.
Yeah.
0%
Yep.
myth. And
Yeah.
it started out as a high number too.
hmm I don't remember what video that was, but I do remember the outcoming, and yeah, that's a lot of fun when you can see how your opinion can influence people or maybe just open their eyes to thinking differently about these things. Like we had said, not everything is paranormal, and being able to show people that or make them at least think that way, um, I think it can go a long ways to the paranormal community even.
There was one that surprised me, and this happened just recently too. You guys were, I don't remember what video it was, but you guys were all leaning towards myth on it, and everybody went to mystery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was recent too, because you guys were kind of surprised by that.
hmm
Um,
No, it's the whole audience voting thing. It's a lot of fun. We get surprised more often than not, and how everybody thinks. And even after we're done, Miriam might give some pretty concrete evidence. Greg might do some amazing stuff. Pendulum, I might do some pretty neat stuff, and then at the end of the thing, nobody changes their mind. So it's kind of fun seeing how everybody's way of thinking is on the input or on the videos too.
Now, on your own investigations, do you utilize stuff like that, like pendulums or sensitives and things like that?
Oh yeah, we use those all the time. The pendulums don't work for me. They'll stand straight as a rock and they will not move. They, for whatever reason, will not work for me. So we let other people use those on our team. For me, it's mainly the electronics that I use. Sometimes a spirit box, but I leave that to Greg whenever we're investigating because he's more in tune with them. We've kind of been doing it long enough that we all kind of have our own little thing that we all do. Some people might be more sensitive, some people might be more electronic, some people might be more like camera work, some people might be more spirit box like Greg or EVP work like I do. Once we get working with it long enough, we all kind of know what we're good at, and that's what we stick with.
Now, are your wife and children into this stuff? Do they go out there with you, or are they more like, no, we don't want anything to do with this. We'll just watch.
No, they're into it. My wife has helped out at a lot of these events. She'll go on investigations. She doesn't really like participating a whole lot, but she'll help and support. She's actually one of my biggest debunkers. Anytime I have evidence, I'll run it by her before I even claim it's anything real. So like I'm like, here, I hear this, listen to this, and she's like, no, it's nothing. It's the cat. You know, I mean, don't even worry about that. So she's pretty good about shooting things down, better than I am. And then my kids really like it. They obviously Logan loves watching the show. He's really getting into paranormal too, and trying to teach him some of the things too without getting too much into it because I don't, he's only 10. I don't want to scare him too much either because there is some freaky stuff out there. But doing things the right way with the family is fun.
Well, even the non-paranormal stuff can be creepy and also kind of dangerous too, depending on the location and the condition of the buildings. And if at 10 years old your mind is not thinking in terms of safety.
Yep, exactly.
So but I do love the fact that your children are into this, because we need a next generation for this to be able to continue on the work that we're doing. Does he show an interest in doing the video analysis?
Yeah, he likes looking at it and working with it on it. Because he's watching the show, or he has been watching the show more, I don't let him actually see the videos until afterwards. Just because I don't want him getting a sneak peek at it. I like having a basis for him. But yeah, when I'm going through and analyzing, I'll play it slow motion for him and say, "What do you see here?" And he'll say, "Oh, that's nothing," or "That might have been an orb," or "That might have been the reflection of the camera," and stuff like that. And just opening his mind to thinking things are not always paranormal, and trying to convince him that all the time too.
That's and you also have a stamp of approval from Jill here.
Well, thanks, Jill. Yes, I have a great family.
And seeing them interact with the audience and with everybody else on the show, that's, to me, that would just make being on the show that much more fun, knowing that my family is into it.
Yes, it is fun. Especially I do the show from a basement because it's nice and quiet down there, and I can have my equipment set up. But when my wife will send me a picture of all the kids laying up on the bed, huddled around their iPad, just watching the show, it's a lot of fun seeing them all get excited like that.
And speaking of which, that's your blushing bride right there.
Yep, I know I have a great family and an even better wife.
And I am so glad, because not a whole lot of people get the support from their spouse with this. I have seen so many men and so many women tell me that, oh yeah, my husband wants nothing to do with this, or my wife wants nothing to do with this. I actually had somebody mock this whole thing when I was seeing her. This is not out. So I think it's a wonderful thing when you have that kind of a support from your significant other.
It definitely makes things a lot easier. Yes.
Yeah, and because now they have like an understanding of what you do, and the fact that she even helps you with this stuff.
Yeah.
That's even better.
Yeah, and she sometimes can be even brutal than I am when calling stuff out. So
maybe have her come on as a guest on Myth or Mystery.
Yeah, I should run that by him and see.
Does she do the video analysis like you do as well, or does she just?
Not really. She just kind of looks at what I have prepared, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely think you should have her on that show at some point.
We'll talk to her and see what she wants to do.
Yeah, she just said that Greg would love that. I don't know if she is like about that or not.
Her and Greg have it's a love hate relationship. They both do like each other, but they love giving each other a lot of crap.
Oh, that's how you know you got a good friendship.
Right?
Oh boy, we are at the top of the hour now. I know the thing here says only 50 minutes, but we had a little technical difficulties trying to get this thing going first.
Real tough.
Yeah. Ryan, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for supporting the show too. I think the more we can work together, the better it is for everybody.
Yeah, it's great having you on here. Now we were able to get to know you a little more, aside from the little 2-minute blurb you get to put out at the beginning of the show. Although I'm pretty sure Greg is probably hearing it as robot language.
Probably, yeah.
How did the robot thing happen?
I don't actually know.
This show as the robot, I would be dumb to not ask you how that happened.
It just kind of happened one day. I think it's because I can be quite monotone and I can go into a lot of detail. That's a lot of technical stuff. And Greg is nothing like that. So Greg, it probably sounds like a robot, like I'm talking, reading straight out of an encyclopedia or something like that. And when they started calling me the robot, and Miriam and Harlow picked up on it, and Harlow made a little design for it, and it stuck. And I think it's funny. I don't have any problem with it whatsoever. It's fun.
And what's even better is you had a little robot mask for Halloween.
My kids made all those. I don't know if anybody noticed, but throughout the whole Halloween show, I kept on replacing them. I had 4 different ones that all my kids made for me.
I saw 2 of them, a light blue one and a red one.
Yep, there was 2 silver, a rainbow, and a blue one. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
That was just awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So Ryan, thank you so much for being on the show. Definitely been a pleasure. I wish that we didn't have the kind of issues we did at the start. I was starting to think that we weren't even going to have a show there for a minute.
Yeah, we got it going. We're okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me too.
Let's see. Jill has one final comment. Is one of the most fun, best game show for the paranormal. That is, I agree. Myth or Mystery is one of the most refreshing shows I have seen in a very, very long time, and it's something different every episode. You're not just interviewing somebody different each week and almost essentially getting the same story.
Sure.
You guys are keeping this thing fresh, and that's what I love so much about your show.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I appreciate everybody watching it. Hopefully, we can keep spreading the word and getting more and more people to tune in. It's a lot of fun.
How has the viewership been for you guys on live? I know that you stream to like 8 different places.
Yeah, it's tough to track all because StreamYard doesn't show you exact Instagram feed into it, and it's hard to say. Anywhere between 30 to maybe 100 viewers. The replays, we do get quite a few more. Sometimes like if we stream with Greg's show, it can be upwards of 10,000, but we have our core group of you guys, our loyal viewers. There's about 30 of you that comment and participate every single day. And that's fun seeing you guys, and we kind of can build up that relationship and poke at each other and just have fun for a night. Well, closer to 2 hours it's turning into, but every Thursday we're having.
That's why I gave you guys that 2-hour block, because for a while there you were keeping it right at about an hour, and then I don't know what changed. It's like, okay, we go over 5 minutes, we go over 10 minutes, and then now all of a sudden Greg is like, "What's the point of my radio show if we're not going to be able to to have
Right.
everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I can definitely see a change in the dynamic as you guys keep on going, because when you're starting a new show, it's always a little bit of a struggle those first few weeks, and
Hmm.
you guys got it locked down and
Yep.
don't necessarily have your timing locked down. But I think that's one of the charms of the show. You don't know how
Yep.
long it's going to last. Well,
Kind of tough to make plans around it though, but yeah, it's fun.
yeah, all I know is when I get done with my show on Thursday nights, I hop on over to your show, and then sometimes it's either once I'm done with the show, I can watch a little something on TV, or once the show is done, I go straight to bed.
Yeah. Yep.
It just all depends, and I think that's something that we always enjoy, because you guys are throwing in so much banner in there, and that's the fun part of the show.
It is. Yep. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay, everybody out there, thank you so much for playing along. Again, Ryan, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm going to
Thank
get
you.
Harlow on here at some point, so that the audience can get to know her.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah, I just got to get a hold of, because I had Mary M on the show over the summer, and I've had Greg on a number of times, actually. One of those times being that 6-hour marathon that Jill so lovingly reminded me about. Next week on the 13th Dimension, I'm going to have Rick McCallum back on the show. Rick is on every season. He was a stunt man for 30 some years on various horror movies. And he's also one of the founders of Hollywood Ghost Hunters. And I talked to him earlier today to confirm he will be on next week. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We get to see what kind of shenanigans he's been getting into lately. And Ryan, once again, thank you so much for being on the show. Pleasure having you on here. And for everybody else out there, until next week, well, actually, you might see me Sunday. I might be doing one of my wrestling shows. So I don't know yet. But until then, check in with you guys later.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Let's see.